Hello, I'm Suzanne Romy, and I'm going to present a series of tutorials on music theory and piano improvisation. I have a master's degree in world music, ethnomusicology, and I will include some interesting historical information with each tutorial. It should make learning music theory more interesting to find out some things about the various cultures where music developed. My first presentation will be on the major pentatonic scale, which is very ancient and goes all the way back to how music was created in the beginning. There are two videos on this topic, and the first video includes some historical information about the pentatonic scale, focusing on ancient Chinese music. I also teach piano. I will take a break to introduce some ideas for improvisation on the piano using the black keys and the pentatonic scale. The second video will be a discussion about the pentatonic scale and the circle of fifths. The information in this part is for all music students, from the older beginner to advanced musicians. All musicians will benefit by learning information about the circle of fifths that is not often taught to music students. I will end with a demonstration of some ideas for improvisation on the piano with several pentatonic scales from around the world. Confucius, who was China's most famous philosopher, lived from 551 to 479 BCE, before the current era. He is shown here because he represents the era of Chinese history that will be focused upon. He is from the Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, before the current era. In his writings, Confucius emphasized the importance of music in education as a tool for organizing society and providing harmony between heaven and earth. Although I am not an expert on Chinese culture and music theory, as a piano teacher, I believe Chinese music is the best way to introduce music theory and the pentatonic scale. This video is a brief introduction to some information on Chinese music and the Binzhong bells from the tomb of the Marquis Yi of Zhong. The major pentatonic scale is at least 40,000 years old. This was during the Paleolithic era and provides some of the earliest information that is known about music in the ancient world. Pentatonic scale simply means there are 5 notes or pitches in the scale. Different pentatonic scales have been used around the world. We will focus on the major pentatonic scale, which is also known as the natural scale and is part of all types of music. Pentatonic scales existed in the indigenous cultures worldwide. For example, China, India, Indonesia, Scotland, Native America, and Africa. Pentatonic scales are still widely used today in all types of music, including jazz, classical, and pop. The Holy Fell's flute is probably the oldest musical instrument that has been found and could be 40,000 years old. It is named after the cavern where it was found in Germany in 2008. It was made from a vulture bone. The major pentatonic scale was found after reconstruction of the flute. The flute pictured here is also from the Paleolithic era and is similar to the Holy Fell's flute. Our focus will now turn to some highlights from ancient Chinese music history. The first example is the amazing jiahu flute, which archaeologists have claimed is the most ancient musical instrument ever found in the world that can still be played today in its original state. In 1962, Several flutes made from the bones of cranes, along with fragments of around 30 flutes, were discovered in Jiahe, central China, and were dated 7000 to 5700 BCE, which was during the Neolithic era. The flutes that were reconstructed included flutes with 5 to 8 holes. Incredibly, they were precisely tuned with 5, 6, and 7-tone scales. With the flutes combined, the notes of the 12-tone chromatic scale was discovered. The knowledge exhibited with the construction and tuning of these instruments was thousands of years earlier than anything found anywhere else in the world. It is not known how the flutes were used or what the music was like during the Neolithic era. Ancient Chinese writings recorded that in 2697 BCE, the emperor sent the scholar Linglun to a sacred mountain to create a bamboo flute that would imitate the sound of the mythical Feng Huang bird. This bird symbolized harmony for the reign of the emperor if it was seen. However, no flute has been found to match the story. The story is well known, and pictures of the bird are prominent in Chinese art. The Feng Huang bird is also known as the Chinese phoenix, although the mythology is not the same. In 1977, archaeologists discovered the ancient royal tomb of Marquis Yi of Zhong. The tomb is from the Shou dynasty and dates from 433 BCE. Many musical instruments were found, including chimes, flutes, drums, zithers, and 65 cast bronze bells. The ancient Chinese invented an 8-tone system to classify musical instruments according to the tone or sound that was produced by the type of material that was used in construction of the instruments. There were examples of instruments from each of the 8 classifications: metal, stone, clay, skin, silk, wood, gourd, and bamboo. The bronze bells, known as binzhong bells, represented the sound of metal. The bells included the first known writings in the world on music theory. The writings included precise instructions for the tuning and construction of the bells. The binzhong bells from the tomb of the Marquis Yi of Zhong are considered by some to be the 8th wonder of the world, partly due to their elaborate construction and intricate design. The construction of the bells is notable for their precise tuning and the inscriptions on music theory found there. Incredibly, the original bells still exist and have been played on rare occasions. The 65 bells are displayed on racks that are held up by statues of armed warriors, which you can see in the picture. An interesting fact about Chinese music is that bells from this era are remarkable for being the only known use of bells as a musical instrument. All types of bells were common all over the world and were used in rituals, worship, announcements, rejoicing, mourning, and to communicate with spirits. But they were never used as part of music composition except in China. The binzhong bells, along with the other instruments that were found, represented wealth and status. They were meant to accompany the Marquis Yi of Zhong to the afterlife. The bells were used for court and ritual music. The other instruments may have also been used in theater and dancing. There will be a link under this video with some reconstructed binjong bells, along with some of the other instruments being played by performers in costume. You can hear the major pentatonic scale in the melody. Although we learned that there were 5, 6, and 7 note scales found with the jiahu flutes, there is no information on the music from that era. The Neolithic era is pre-literate, and there are no songs that are known. Also, music composition and music as entertainment may not have yet existed. The music of the Shou dynasty, which came at least 1,000 years later, was mostly based on the pentatonic scale, which will be explained in the second part of this series. There's more information on Chinese music and music theory available on my website in the bibliography under the blog piano-dreams.net. If you have questions about any of this information, please leave a note in the comments section and I will respond. Improvisation is the fun part of learning music theory. It is good to improvise to get a better understanding of the theory and to improve your ear for what you have learned. I will also demonstrate some things about piano technique. We will use the black keys of the piano or keyboard to demonstrate the major pentatonic scale, along with some ideas for improvisation. Beginners and non-musicians will be able to enjoy expressing themselves creatively with the black keys. There may also be some ideas to inspire more advanced musicians. Anyone who does not have a piano or keyboard can skip this part to the second video on music theory and the major pentatonic scale. You do not need to know the names of the notes or any music theory. I use the black keys to teach piano to beginners. Some of them are creative, and it is fun to hear them experiment with making sounds such as wind chimes, birds, or an elephant walking, and other ideas they may have, such as the little girl in the cartoon that was displayed at the beginning of the video and you can still see here. When you look at the piano, you will see the black keys are in groups of 2 and 3. One thing that is helpful to remember is the numbers that are used for the fingers. So the thumb is 1, and if you put that on the bottom of 3 black notes, you can play the major pentatonic scale on the black notes. Now with the left hand, I will demonstrate something from a tutorial by Johnny May on improvising with the black keys. Johnny May has an extensive library of online tutorials to teach beginning, intermediate, and advanced jazz piano along with music theory. In his video, he showed the left hand with the little finger on the bottom of 3 black keys, playing all 5 notes of the major pentatonic scale together, which he said made a nice jazz chord, the G-flat 6-9 chord. So there are no dissonances with the scale, which makes it easy to improvise because all the notes sound good together. There are more chords in this scale, but I am not going to talk about chords in this video. Now back to the right hand. Johnny May demonstrated what he called the grip. I have seen jazz and pop musicians use this technique, and everyone can have their own grip. Johnny May demonstrated 2 grips with 4 fingers. Just place your thumb on the bottom of 2 black notes and play 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for the second note, start with your thumb on the bottom of 3 black notes. Now these grips make it easy to move up and down quickly. I have another grip with all 5 fingers. If you use the same grip with your thumb on the bottom of 2 black notes and play 1 and 5, you have a nice interval called the 6. You can also get the same interval with the other grip with your thumb on the bottom of 3 black notes. And in this grip you need to jump around. Now back to the left hand. It is nice to create a pattern to organize your improvisation. To start with, we will use the 5th, which will be explained in the next video with the circle of 5ths. Put your little finger on the bottom of 2 black notes with the first grip and play 5 and 2 to make a 5th. Same thing with the other grip on the 3 black notes. You can also add an octave to have more possibilities. It is good to count when you are playing to keep the rhythm going with a steady beat. 1, 2. You can make your own patterns and rhythms. You can also make patterns with any combination of notes. Again, it is good to use a pattern with 4 beats. After you choose a pattern, if you are a beginner, you might need to play long notes in the right hand so you can keep track of the left hand and the beats. You can repeat notes in your improvisation at any time. Another technique is to just play 2 notes in the right hand. It is possible to play musically with a minimum number of notes. Last thing is also from Johnny May. He suggests playing every other note with the black keys to make pleasant sounds. If you are playing a melody, you might want to add a little harmony too. Improvisation will help you discover what you can do with the scale and also help you develop your ear. As I mentioned before, it is good to organize your improvisation according to a left-hand pattern. Also, you can just play freely, which is how many people like to improvise. Anything you do will sound good. You can hear great ideas for improvising on the black keys for all levels, along with some helpful exercises on the Johnny May video. You can also add some of the ideas I have shown or create your own ideas. I believe improvisation is a lot more fun with a group. I have many books and videos with lots of ideas on improvisation with all types of music. I would love to try some ideas with a group. I will explore some music theory and we can try out ideas for improvisation together. We can also try out some group games. We can experiment on Zoom with playing together or just playing duet. Please go to my website and sign up if you are interested in a free get-together on Zoom. I taught beginning and intermediate classical, pop, and jazz piano. Plus, some of my students played advanced pieces, and I can do that too. All levels of experience are welcome. It would be fun to have some advanced players show off for the rest of us. Be sure to watch the next video on the pentatonic scale, which is about music theory.